All right, this comment is from Wade, and I really love it because I think that Wade has kind of created a realization of something and an understanding that is going to unlock a lot of potential for him. But he has a really good question at the end. I'm going to read the whole comment, and then we're going to get into answering this question. So I really appreciate this video, Dan. This has to do with getting unlocked and what I call kind of like the natural separation of the upper and the lower body. So that makes a ton of sense, and honestly I've been a bit dismayed because I was never sure how I was going to gain enough control over my body parts to develop the necessary separation. It makes logical sense that what players do who have an elite skill level is not grinding to develop incredible control over how they move each body part, but rather they grind to learn to give up control and allow the movement to happen. That really flips how I think about what I'm doing in my head, and I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, the grind is to make it easier. It isn't to make it harder. So getting onto the question phase, I suppose the challenge for instructors is it's probably very difficult to teach someone to give up control. How do you teach that? It's much easier for both the instructor and student when they say, move this at that time, but that likely ultimately detracts from the end goal, and that is so true. So it's the most profound challenge that I have as a coach, and that I see that really that all coaches struggle with, for sure. How do you know something about something and then explain it to somebody who doesn't have the same experience as you? And that's why it's very difficult for, a really elite player to teach a novice. It's just their experiential levels are different. And it's also the same reason that a good player says, well, I need the player to be like this in this spot. How come they're not? And so, well, if I just kind of show them where they need to be, that'll get them there. The problem is that the novice player will go to the body part and how to make it happen. The expert allowed it to happen. And so it was done by the body's own intelligence, understanding that the concept of the golf swing was correct. So how I do this is I want somebody from the very first moment they pick up a golf club, I don't care how novice they are, how experienced they are, do they see it for what it is? And a golf swing is a reach in a spiral in the direction of the golf ball. So if I just use the golf club, I'm reaching the golf club in an effortless movement to strike the golf ball for me. So fundamentally, I cannot think of it as a swing. So if I can get the player to see it differently, then I can get some like experiences. So I need them to get the experiences of what it's like. So hence I use the term unlock because I don't want to tell them how to do it. What is it like to be unlocked? What does that mean to you? And that is really the way that I believe we should always be coaching. And it's why I use the pro. I mean, the pro is the model of an elite motion. It gives you something that gives you a relative experience that is completely different than what you're doing with the golf club. It forms an angle whenever you're using golf swing moves that don't work, and so you actually have to blow up the way you actually think of a golf swing works. And I don't believe anybody can get to the level they want to get by conventional instruction. They may get better and improve, and the identification of a body part might work, but if it was a successful way to coach people, it would work for everybody, and it works for almost nobody. That's why people get frustrated with lessons. Makes them think too much. So I need to have an experience and a perception that is different. So if your perception, this is where I would start with anybody, if my perception is that I am, first and fundamentally, I'm reaching. Oh, anybody can open up and reach. If my perception is I'm swinging the club, I'm already dead. When I put the pro in their hand now, it's an understanding of, oh, I have something attached to a weight attached to me that gives me more extension from my body. How do I reach that? How do I see that correctly? And so there's a lot to be garnered there. I won't go into the kind of the details and all the nuances because there's so much to learn. But if somebody truly wants to get better, and this is why I charge $500 for the pro and not $97 anymore, because I want somebody that wants to buy this to understand exactly what this thing is. And I cannot help somebody unlock and get the right perception of their body without giving them more without getting them to see it differently. And so I think if coaches, and that's why, again, I charge more for it, because I'm not just giving you essentially something that doesn't cost all that much to make, more than you think though, but I'm giving you an app with 3 courses on it to understand how to use it effectively, and then I'm giving you an hour of my time so I can coach you in seeing it the right way, and then of course I hope to build a relationship from there on with anybody that really is serious about learning their golf game. So I know that's maybe a little bit off topic, but that is why I've actually changed the price of the Pro. And I see comments that say, oh, that's not worth $500. I agree. This is not by itself worth $500. But what you can do with it and what you can understand and what you can change in your perception, I think is worth thousands of dollars. So anyways, thanks for that comment, and I hope that that makes sense philosophically in the way that I go about developing players. I have to change the perception. I have to get them to understand what it is, and then we can start to learn how to change the intentions of the body. And if I'm doing that well, things should fall into place very easy, and I use the Pro as a model and a way to speed and accelerate that understanding.